Okay, I'm going to send where you are. All right. This is where I should be anyway, since I'm the one delivering the sermon. The dungeon means red elixir. That's what the term means. Dantien, dungeon, tanden, these are all just transliterations of the same thing. It's called red elixir. And what that's describing is a 3-inch ore that sits about 3 inches below your belly button, 3 inches deep, so that it's in the middle of your pelvic girdle. All right? And on the front end of that ore, you have 3 acupuncture points that make up the circumference of that thing called the dantian or dungeon or tanden, right? These 3 points are CV or conception vessel 4, 5, and 6. Okay? When those things are activated, then your chi is centered. Now on the back side of this orb, you have the Ming Men, which is known as the life gate fire. Okay? That's the Ming Men. Now this red elixir is where, according to Oriental medical physiology, is where chi is metabolized. Okay? It's also the root chakra, for those of you who know about what a chakra is. You guys have heard that term?
Can you talk a little bit about it? Because I think I'm getting meridian and chakra confused.
Yeah, you are getting it confused. If you look at the cosmos as the ocean, okay? As, let's just say, if I were to extend my arm, this here is my auric field.
Auric?
Auric.
Like A-U-R-I-C?
This is your auric field. As energy condenses towards your body, it gets more dense, right? So you have the skin, the muscles, the fascia. Then the most dense form of that movement is bone, which is why in Oriental medicine we say bone is like, that's your essence. That's where the marrow of the brain is created. That's where blood is created. That's where all of that is created, okay? So, but that's your root chakra, and the chakra is colored red. Chakra means wheel, right? And it's like you have this ocean of energy, and as it comes towards your body, it's spinning. It literally is spinning like this, right? And then it condenses into these 7 chakras, okay? Now, that red elixir, that red chakra is what animates you in the earth's plane. It's very primal. And you guys, Victor, can you shut the door? It's very primal, okay? And you guys make judgments about that all the time. It's very sexual. It's what your sex drive is about. So when you're walking down the road and you see a woman that you think is attractive, what do you say? God, she's hot, right? That's what you say. You say she's hot, right? What color image comes to mind when you do that? Right. Which is why the ranking system of our system of HapGi really starts with the red belt because of that reason. It's primal, it's untrained, it's uncultured, and then the next color after that is orange, which is very emotional. It has to do with the emotions. The next color after that is your intellect. The next color after that is green. The next color after that is blue. That's our black belt. It's really blue belt. I don't push the ranking system. It's all worked out. It's been published. People can use it if they want to. I certainly do. This is our highest color. It's purple. But anyway, as the colors move up, you have blue, which is the transition between the lower realm and the upper realm. Okay? And then you have indigo, and then you have purple or gold or white. So really, white, gold, purple are the highest ranks. Okay? And there's a whole explanation physically, psychologically, emotionally about the transition of the, of the structure. But just for the sake of the exercise we're doing this morning, the focus is going to be the dantian. Okay, now when you breathe, it's like blowing into a big balloon, like I said yesterday. All right? And you fill it from the bottom up. So again, if you were to, most people, when they breathe, you would see this. So it only is going that way, right? That can cause low back problems. So think about all the keto people out there that's breathing like that, right? It creates problems because it creates a muscle imbalance between the posterior cervical segments of the spine and the front, because it's like your spine is like, it's like the mast on a ship, and you have these guidelines, right? And if one of them is loose and the other is tight, guess what you get, right? It creates problems. So that's why you have to, when you breathe, if you can put one hand on the lower back and one hand at the dantian, and when you breathe, feel the lower back all around expand, and you fill from the bottom to the top, which is this point here. What's this point again? By way, meaning what?
1,000 spirits meeting.
100 spirits meeting, right? So the points are kidney 1, right, or bubbling spring, okay? Kidney 1 or bubbling spring. The point here in the perineum is Hui Yin, meaning the meeting of all yin. It's like, it's where all yin is focused, all right? And that's the space between your anus and your testicles. It's right at that point, okay? So those are the points. Kidney 1, conception vessel 1, these 3 acupuncture points on the front, which is CV 4, 5, and 6. On the posterior aspect is the Ming Men. Let me make a statement about the Ming Men. That's your life gate fire. When that extinguishes, you're done. That is your life gate fire. And we even have protocols in the field of acupuncture to return fire back to its source when you see people are dimming out. Okay? How would that play out in modern times? Low libido. Always this feeling of coldness. That kind of thing you would find. No motivation, you're always fearful about the world around you, you're very tentative. You touch the person's lower back and it actually feels cold. That's because the life gate fire is not functioning. Let me give you guys a simple herb to correct that. Cinnamon bark, not the twig. That's one of those herbs that leads fire back to its source, so to speak. Okay? And why the bark? The bark wraps around a tree, right? So image-wise, think of that bark wrapping around your lower back, right? Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. So that's your breath, your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and your concentration is the anal sphincter and the roof of the mouth. That connects it's like a switch. When you contract your anal sphincter upwards and you touch the tongue to the roof of the mouth, it activates what's known as the macro-orbit, meaning circulation through the conception and governing vessel, which is in the shape of a figure 8 or the infinity sign. That's why you create the infinity. So the governing vessel is known as the Sea of Yang. The conception vessel is known as the Sea of Yin. You put them together because one cannot exist without the other. Right? So it's a lot to think about when you're doing this exercise, right? So this is the posture, and you should try to hold it for at least 2 minutes and try to bring all of those things into play. But, you know, back in the day when I was doing a lot of practice with the Chen Tai Chi Chuan and the Yin Fu Ba Gua Zhang, it wasn't uncommon for us to hold this thing for an hour. Imagine trying to hold that for an hour. It's like doing a plank for an hour. Okay? So we're going to do it for 2 minutes. All right? We're going to do it for 2 minutes. Here we go. Try and see if you can recreate all of those requirements. Relax. Bring your arm up. And begin. Drop your elbow. Your elbow should be suspended. You will start to feel certain tension areas in your body. Bring your attention to those areas and move through it. In other words, you try to drain your body of tension. And for those of us with back pain, this is a great exercise to do. Okay, it's only been 1 minute. Relax those shoulders. I see you guys, the shoulders are going up. You should be able to lift your arm without tension in your shoulders and in your chest muscles. 15 seconds to go. Feels like an hour, doesn't it? Five seconds. Okay, sink just a little bit more, lower your arms. Take a deep breath into the dantian. Let the breath reach your crown, and like you're stroking a long beard, push down as you straighten up. Now, does your body feel a little warm after that? That's exactly right, because when your body holds this posture, all the channels in your body opens up. So it's very warming. This is a good thing you do in the middle of winter, because all of the muscles are now pitched at the right angle and the right tone, right? And everything opens if you do this right. This very simple exercise, this is one of my favorite things to do. When I did, like after I've had lunch and I'm feeling kind of, you do this for 5-10 minutes, you're good to go. It literally wakes you up. Yes?
Clarifying question. So, dantian is an anatomical point that exists or not? And if it doesn't exist, are we visualizing a red
Or,
as you do
yes,
this,
that's another thing. You
okay,
visualize the
visualize
red.
and bring it into existence. Is that the kind of
Well,
intention?
we're not sure that.
Okay.
All right.
Just but at least visualize it.
We're not sure that meridians exist.
Yeah. So that's why. So I guess my question is this a part of this includes visualizing that
Yes.
as we breathe?
Oh yeah. It's a very active mind exercise. Trying to bring all those things or manifest those things into your body. That's why I say, nothing will get your mind and your body right by doing this for a few minutes.
Sir, so would this be just above and in front of the top of the ladder?
Well, from the belly button, it's 3 inches below. So yeah, that would be right. Yeah, anatomically, yeah. The kidneys, and this main man is between the 2 kidneys. And you have a right and left kidney, right? And the kidneys is a strange kind of concept in Oriental medicine. They say that it's the only one of the 12 meridians where there's a yin and a yang component. So we talk about kidney yin, kidney yang, right? Now, what would be an example of kidney yin deficiency? And the other thing about the kidneys, the essence, it contains this thing called jing, right? Jing is essence. And in males, jing could be likened to your sperm, okay? Your seminal fluid. They say men lose jing through intercourse and overwork, exhaustion, that kind of thing. Women lose it through childbirth the most. So it's depleting. You can't get any more jing. You're only given a certain amount, say a tablespoon of jing. And your ability to conserve that tablespoon of jing throughout your lifetime is what's going to ensure good health. But when the jing starts to deplete, you get things like hair loss, premature brain, low libido, all of those things start to creep in. So it's all related to the kidney yin or yang. Now, an example of kidney yin deficiency would be like having night sweats. If you find yourself having night sweats. Because at night, yin should be quiet and yang should be quiet and yin should be in relative excess. But what happens if it switches? That's all that heat, even though it's at night, it should be quiet. It's just like, it's inherent into the culture that during the day the men are out running around doing their thing and the wife is at home, right? The man comes home at night and settles down, right? But that's not happening. They're still out there running around cheating on their wives, right? So that's the kind of thing, okay? All right? So, but my whole reason for harping on this particular thing is because this posture forms the basis for everything we do. Period. And you should be able to see that as we progress through it, okay? Before we go any further, Master Gavin and Master Altenbosch, as in the next hour or so, you guys can teach for an hour, and this afternoon you can teach for an hour. Whatever you teach, though, here's my requirement. I'm not interested in a bunch of techniques. What I'm interested in is what concepts, principles, methodologies, and strategies you have that underlies what it is you're going to be teaching. That's the challenge for the two of you. Okay? All right. So,
Sir, can I ask you a question? As we were doing that, I consciously tried to see what would happen with the disconnect between, the roof, the tongue, the roof of the mouth, and the sphincter. And it seemed like you balanced when you were in the proper position.
Mhm.
The moment I took the tongue away,
Mhm.
or disconnected that, everything felt out of source again.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, in order to activate that circulation of chi, the anal sphincter, when you breathe in, the anal sphincter should contract upwards. When you breathe out, the anal sphincter should relax. That's another nuance. And for men, we don't do enough of what is called Kegels.
Okay.
Very important to protect you from prostate problems. If you do Kegels for a couple of minutes a day, you can almost guarantee yourself not having prostate issues. And the reason why you develop BPH, or benign prostatic hypertrophy, or inflammation of the prostate, is because your pelvic floor muscles are just plain weak.
Is that an English button?
What?
Is that an English button?
An English what?
English button you have, so I can listen to what you're saying.
Well, yeah, I'm speaking medical language, but then that should challenge you guys to do your research. I realize that sometimes my delivery is somewhat, and I've actually had people who, like George Bell and Josh, say, hey, Ian, you need to tone it down. No. If I tone my language down, that's not helping you guys. All right? That's my take on it.
When I teach the residents, occasionally I'll get that, they'll say, well, really, in plain English, your residents.
Yeah, that is plain English.
It is. And you're supposed to raise the bar.
Yeah,
I'm not supposed to lower it.
exactly.
So what are you trying to tell?
You're an idiot.
Thanks for saying that.
Oh my God, I do agree. That's no. All right.
I'm not free to do that.
Ask them how many languages they speak.
How many languages do you speak?
What?
How many languages do you speak?
One.
All right. Okay. So in the HapGi arts, Dungeon Ho Bup, right? Dungeon meaning red elixir, Ho Hap, breathing, Bup method. It's dungeon, red elixir breath method. That's how it's described in Hapkido. But in our system of HapGi, I don't recognize that. Because proper breathing is only an aspect of what I call HapGi Bup. HapGi meaning join, energy, method. And it's a whole slew of things that can be framed under this concept of HapGi Bup. Okay? Only one of which is the proper breathing method. Right? You catch my drift? You can say the entire system I've devised is really HapGi Bup. Because unless you apply this, nothing works. Okay? So what we see, like my teacher, Dojin Jihanje, start like that, and you spread your fingers and you push forward, right? And then you reverse it, right? And the breath is compressed into the, he talks about compressing the chi in the dungeon. It's like you force it into so that it, boom, it explodes outwards kind of thing. That's the idea. But really, all HapGi Bup really is bringing a sword from middle to high position, eh? Right, that's really what it is. And then if somebody grabs your wrist, if you do the same motion, you can deal with that. So if I have a sword in my hand and somebody grabs my wrist, I should be able to bring the sword to high position and cut, even if they're hanging on to my wrist. Right? Simeon, grab my sword for me, please. Yes.
I got a a question. For many years, before I met you, we were doing the HapGi training. It was called Dungeon Breeding.
Yes. You
Is
see,
that right?
just a second. You see how he's handing me that sword? The handle is to my right, the blade is facing him. And the reason that is, as a senior, I should be able to cut it. He assumes the risk as my junior. All right? So whenever you hand the sword to somebody like this, and this is it. Okay? Now, so the idea is that this is Dungeon Bup come alive. If he prevents him from picking that sword up, he shouldn't be able to do that. Right? This is what happens. You okay? All right. That's what happens. He should not be able to stop me from deploying my sword. Which is what, this side please, sir. This is what, one of them grabs my wrist, right? You see what happened? So it doesn't make, that's the jujitsu of, that's why they say that the sword is what informs the skills of jujitsu or hapkido, right? Jujitsu, hapkido, jujitsu, same thing, right? Right? That's why it said that. Oh, or at any phase of that, if I'm here and he tries to stop me, switch your hands. Cut it. Right? I should be able to. Right, see? That's important. All right? Or if I try to grab mine and he grabs, you can see, right? This can happen, right? So what happens as he grabs me, this is what happens. All right? So that's what we'll be dealing with. All right? So, yeah, please. All right? So, our version of Dungeon Bup, if there's such a thing, is that you stand in a triangle stance where your heel to heel. This left foot is at a 30 to 45, well, mostly a 30-degree angle. You slide that foot forward so that it's about the length of your shoulder width. And what that does, if you keep your shoulders and your hips aligned, it forces your body into this angle. Right? So, what we're going to do is start here, like you have that sword in your hand, and what you do is you step forward and cut. And then you draw your back leg up with a full action of the hip and cut. Again, up and cut. Up, cut. Up, cut. Up, cut.